Hello and happy holidays. I thought I'd share a little Christmas joy with you, or a little Yuletide joy. My sister sent me these in the mail, these little ornaments carved out of wood. Aren't they nice? They smell really nice too, very woody. She also sent this little tree that lights up. Isn't that fun? I'm going to read from you a story I wrote. It's from my collection of 11 fairy tales, and it's called The Twelves. Once upon a time, when magic ruled the world, and children more often spied a goblin under their beds, or a fairy sitting on the window ledge, combing her hair in the moonlight, there lived 11 elven brothers. They kept much to themselves in woodland, glade, and grotto, and many in the rest of the wide world knew nothing of them. Each of them guarded and guided a month among the seasons, and the elves in charge of 11 months made the years run uneven, cycling faster than they do nowadays. Every so often, there would be a frost in a warm month, or leaves falling in a fresh month, or a hot spell in a cold month, as befit the playful nature of elves. Some of the elves kept frogs as dogs, and I have to laugh to think of them a-walking with leashes, as the hop-toads hopped to and stopped, hopped again, and so on, all the while belching from their proud, puffed-out little bellies, as if croaking were barking. Others kept bats as cats, which sat on their shoulders. The older elves sometimes wore their bats as hats, pinned by claws into their long white hair, with wings wavering now and then, like a feather decoration. Every day at 4, the elves would pause from their work and take tea together, steeped from freshly gathered herbs and flowers. Sometimes there would be toadstool cakes, or brownies the brownies had baked and left as a gift. For as you see, all creatures of the green world got on well together. And sometimes, when the weather was just so, and all the elements came together, all the elementals did likewise in celebration, feasting, and dancing, and making merry. But the season-changing chaos made it hard for gardeners to know when to reap, or when to sow, or when to put away stores for rough weather. A chill blast would wither grapes on the vine and send sunflowers moping, their faces hanging like sleepy moons from their stalks. The great worry caused by the whimsy of elves in charge of 11 months became such a trouble that mortals, beasts, birds, and trees beseeched them to call a council, to seize the problem and fix it on the double. They did what they could, discuss what they would, but none could reach a conclusion. So a very old sage of a very old age was called in to find a solution. A wise old crone with a cinch sack of bones, she knew much about numerology. She cast out the bones in a circle of stones and studied their runes and cosmology. At great length she nodded, slit-eyed and sly, and slowly and solemnly rose, tapping in rhythm with one bony finger applied to the side of her nose. As revelation crept across her brow, she knew just what was needed now. This is it, She decided. The trouble, you see, has been revealed to me. Your house is unevenly divided. You need a 12th elf, she said to herself, and then with the others confided. So they dispatched insect emissaries to fly the world wide in search of the one with the stuff that it took to willingly work by their side. Wizards were gathered for the job, but they were deemed too tall. Sprites were found too spiteful. Fairies were too small. Ogres too ill-tempered, with a tendency to bicker and squall, and trolls too dull to think about were not considered at all. At last they found a quiet gnome living alone in his quiet gnome home. Though moody, a musically magical guy, when on his harp he'd play, the clouds grew gray and snowflakes they fell from the sky. Waltzing on winds they flitted and floated, cascading to land on the land in a wide white winter blanket, quite bloated, like a marshmallow ice cream stand. The tuneful tones he plucked on his harp designed and aligned each intricate shape sharp, diagonal and crystalline, each flake being unique, more like a diamond in the sky than any twinkling star. If wise elves ever knew anything, this they'd understand. They must ask a fellow clever as this to join their elven band. And a ceremony was held to bestow upon the gnome the official title of honorary elf, complete with a brand new family and home. Then 12 frogs and bats were tossed up in a hat to see who was given this month and who was given that. And it fell that he, the 12th elf, was left with the last month of the year. A holiday was set to lock in the sequence, and relief was blessedly clear. On his fine little harp he played away, and snow danced hushfully down from the clouds in a joyous winter display. And what was the name of this wintry elf, the 11 elves' 12th member? Well, by now, I'd have thought you might have guessed that his name was December. And from way back then until this time, we enjoy his place in the calendar, keeping all the other elven 11 months in line. Happy holidays.